Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, especially coming in. This first time I'm ever being able to do a live like this. I'm kind of glad that they're actually doing this. It gives us because I'm not technology savvy at all. Never been clearly. Um, so this gives me a perfect way to. If I wanted to go live with anybody that can at least get on here, this is a perfect opportunity. Now I appreciate YouTube doing this. Um, so we got a lot of news to talk about, and a lot of news because I got so much. These notes right here on my pad. We got a good amount of them. But the first thing I want to talk about because it's my main title is Kevin Owens potentially, maybe being out of War Games. I don't know. Um, it's a I don't know anything about an MCL sprain. I know it really varies of how the injury is. Very, very, very. But that's what Kevin Owens got. He planted wrong in a live event against Austin Theory, which is kind of surprising because Austin Theory is probably one of the safest people I've seen overall. I'm really surprised it was against him, but things happen. Um, but Luke, what do you think about Owens potentially being injured? And I hope he don't miss more games because he's obviously they probably want Sami Zayn as the fifth member of the Bloodline, of course, because spoiler alert, I don't think he's winning the World Cup, even though I'd love to see him and go through just go at it.
Yeah.
But Owens was probably going to be the fifth member of I don't know what you want to call it, just the other team of Drew and the Brawling Brutes.
Yeah, definitely. Kevin Owens definitely probably would have been the fifth man in that team. So if he does miss War Games, then that really does suck. Considering that would have been a big match for Kevin Owens. He's been in War Games before. He was that surprise entrant in NXT. So it would have been a big moment for him to go into War Games once again and you know face the bloodline and have that little run in with Sami Zayn again that we always love to see. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully the MCL isn't that bad. Again, yeah, it's an injury that really ranges from severity. So who knows how long he'll be out for. But if he does miss War Games, then that really does suck. But then it's a case of if Owens does miss War Games, then who replaces him in the match? That's something Triple H has got to figure out.
I'm sure Triple H is going to figure that one out because he's not going to be. I mean, some stuff is going to have to be last minute, but he's not going to have a mindset of, "Hey, I'm going to just throw whoever in there last minute." That's just not going to happen with him.
No, no, that's not his style.
No. I who would be the fifth member if Owens ain't there? Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very hard to choose from the amount of people that are on the roster because a lot of people are busy with their own stuff.
Mhm.
Like you could say maybe Champa, but he's busy with like the Miz and stuff. Actually, no, he's injured, isn't he, Champa?
Yeah, we can actually go into that just a little bit because it ain't big news. But they said Champa won't return until next year sometime.
Ah, damn, that sucks.
So he just had that recent surgery. I forget what it is. Is it hip or something like that? Knee? It's something like that, but it's not like a major injury. So that's
No.
the that's a good thing. But um, yeah, he won't return until next year. So that's the Champa really don't make sense here, even though it'd be a surprise entrance, like Owens was for NXT, like you.
Yeah.
But uh, I mean, if it ain't Owens, who ain't doing anything right now? You know what? I don't know. I,
Throw in Edge as a surprise return. He has a bit of history with Roman and the Bloodline, so maybe, but it would be, just a guy that really needs to be shoehorned in a little bit.
I don't. Man, I'm normally I would have an answer to who should be the person, but I don't. I honestly don't, just because Owens really makes the most sense, and everything fits in with it. Like every little thing fits in with
Yeah.
it. I hate that he's injured and everything, but hopefully, I'm praying that it ain't really that bad. It don't seem like it's that bad with how people are saying, but
No.
I mean, still, like if he gonna be in war games, he's gonna have to take a lot. All those people are gonna have to take a lot of punishment. So that's the only thing I fear, that
Oh
Triple
yeah.
Triple H might have to just add someone else in there. I don't know who that person would be, because you got, like you said, you got so many people that got their own thing going on. You got the World Cup on SmackDown going on. So, like, most likely it'd be someone from SmackDown, realistically, you would think, if they would
Yeah,
replace.
you would think.
Uh, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know who, because you got the people in the World Cup. Uh, I don't know. You got a lot of people. I mean, I'll go into it like this. This don't make no sense, but him coming back here soon, you never know. He might just get thrown into it. I don't think he will. But this transitions to like a next topic. Bobby Roode will be back soon. Uh, and Triple H loves Bobby Roode.
Of
He's
course.
not Robert Roode for me. He will always be Bobby for me.
Same with me. Always Bobby Roode.
Uh, Vince changing the name to Bobby to Robert got to be probably the top five dumbest things he's done, and he's done a lot of dumb things recently. Before all that came out, and then he retired. Um, I hope I love Bobby Roode. If you can't tell, when I do universe mode, Bobby Roode is always a champion for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna break the universe mode phase for me for a second. He always seems to be a champion somehow, some way. Um, so I can't wait for him to be back. I don't even know what injury he had, but
Not me neither, to be honest.
I really don't. But I think they're just waiting. I think they're just waiting to like bring him back. At like
Yeah, wait for the right time.
so I don't know if he's going to come back as a face or a bad guy. I would think probably a good guy at first, at least, just because of the reaction he's going to get when he comes back with that music. Because I mean, they're not going to come back with a new music. There ain't no way.
I hope not. I
I,
really do hope not.
that'd be probably it'd be very, 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 very dumb. But Rude should be back here soon. Um, Talking about someone else that's going to be back soon. And she's mentioned it on the Broken Skull sessions. If you've watched it, Charlotte, she's talked about how she doesn't like her character. Which, let's be honest, everyone. Okay, not everyone, because there is some dumb people out there, but most everyone just don't like her direction of the character. Obviously, I
No.
I don't want to sound bad here, but it's going to sound bad even if I don't say it a good way. Her getting injured might have been one of the best things for her, so she could take some time off, relax, be with her Andrade and everything, and just just refocus and relax and recharge basically. And hopefully, and I don't think you could make her character and everything look worse than it did when Vince was controlling it, but hopefully when she comes back, I have an idea when they're going to bring her back. I'd say Royal Rumble season. I think that's when they'll bring her back. But she's at she's actually ready to go and everything because said Rick Flair was on a I don't know what podcast, but he said that she's actually ready to come back and everything, but they're just waiting for the perfect time, which to me is Royal Rumble because
Royal Rumble, yeah, definitely.
you got so much going on with Survivor Series coming up and everything. You got the women, you got their war games and everything. There's probably not no room for her. I'm gonna be honest.
No, and with Charlotte, like I agree, like her taking time off is probably the was the best thing for her. Like you never want to wish injury on anybody, but I think it was the best thing for her to recharge and recalibrate and just like come back with a new direction, which is what I'm hoping is going to happen. Because my problem with Charlotte has always been her character and her direction. Like in terms of her as a performer, wrestler, an athlete, she's amazing. She's one of the best on the roster. I will say that. I've always liked Charlotte when it comes to that, but her character has just never like hit it for me. Never really interested me, just purely because everyone says it, but it is true. It's a copy of her father's gimmick. That's what it essentially is, just her own little twist on it. So I just want to see her come back with a new character and a new direction. That's what I want to see from Charlotte.
Um, while watching that Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold, when he mentioned how many times she was a champion, I didn't realize that. I knew she was a champion a lot, but he said, and I mean it's probably true because he probably gonna get his facts right before he does it. He said 13-time champion,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I know her and Sasha went back and forth, but I did not realize she was a 13-time champion already. Like that. That to me,
That's insane.
that is mind boggling. That's just that.
Yeah, like that's what her whole run on the main roster has been. Like winning and losing championships like that just to bring the stats up so she could take over Rick eventually as the 16 champ. Like that's pretty much all the reasons was for her winning belts and then losing them quite quickly and then gain them back quickly. It's just like none of the tolerates were important or impactful. They were just a stat, which I hate. Like a tolerate should be important. What you do with it should be important to make the title feel prestigious. What Charlotte did with it to bring the stats up and her be a 13-time champ did nothing for the title, did nothing for the division, just all for herself, really. So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's. I honestly could not believe when Stone Cold said 13-time champion. That's that's just crazy to me. But someone else that might be coming back soon, um, actually returning, I should say, not from injury. Sounds like Chelsea Green is on her way back because she basically said Impact. What she said she's going home after she didn't beat Mickey James. I don't follow Impact. I just see it on Twitter. So um, now look, I know Triple H likes her, and she's like a Triple H type of person. I hope someone else they actually bring back. And the bad thing is all these women coming back not really getting that big of a reaction because the crowd, the main crowd, aka like the casuals, do not recognize these people, which is
No.
very sad because I honestly popped when Mia Yim came back a little bit.
Yeah, so did I. I was
So
very happy to see her back.
I don't try to look at any of the spoilers. People post them on the shows, and I'm like, why would you want to spoil yourself? Okay, I could go on a full rant because of that because it makes me so mad. Like, why would you want to look at spoilers, post them, and everything, and just like I want to be surprised when I see something. Like, I don't want to see seeing no one return. Like, if someone like Emma returned, and I hated that she didn't get a reaction because I've always been a big Emma. I've always been big Emma, Tina Dashwood, whatever you want to call her. I've always been like that.
She's very underrated, extremely underrated.
If I really clicked on one of those spoilers, because sometimes it just pops up and I hate to see it, and sometimes I accidentally click on it. If I looked and saw that she was coming back before the show, like there's no point of watching the show normal
No.
like that if you just want to be spoiled all the time. That's like watching one of your favorite TV shows and somehow a spoiler comes out and everything before the episode, and you're just looking and seeing what is going to happen. But what's the point of watching?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I personally don't understand it. I really don't. Like, if you like a TV show so much, even like WTV, because it is technically a TV show. So, like, if you like a TV show so much, you really wouldn't like it to be spoiled for you. You'd want it to watch it, your reactions to be genuine, and it's enjoy the show. I don't understand why you would want to look at the spoilers and just be like, "Oh yeah, now I know what's going to happen, so I'm going to be very fully prepared for everything that's going to happen on this show." Like, I really don't understand it.
I don't know, man. That's the one thing that I don't know. It's irked me a little bit here recently because I'll see a lot of people post it, and I'm like, why? Like, why are you going to post it? Like, first of all, I don't want to see it, and second of all, you're just ruining, a return or something else that's happening during the show. Just watch it like a normal person and all of that. All right, let me get off that topic. Another person I wish they would bring back is her tag team partner because I've been a huge fan of I cannot say Peraza. I can't say her first name. Don't even.
Diona Perazzo. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. There's some names I cannot pronounce. But Peraza, because first of all, when she wasn't like even big at all, for some reason she follows me on Twitter, so that's one of the main reasons I've really. I hope she does come back too. Now I don't know if I would bring her back immediately, but she's been doing a lot of good stuff on the independent scene with her. So that's someone else I would like for to bring back eventually. But let's go into something that's pretty funny. Oh, Sammy, he was in I guess he was in a boxing event in Dubai or something, and he got the worst reaction I think I've seen to someone asking a question in forever about him saying that he want asking the Dubai crowd if he wants to see him box. Like no one, I Sammy, oh man, I don't know. He's he's had a lot of incidents with AEW, and now look, I don't watch the show. I I'll be the first one to tell you I don't watch AEW. One, I don't have enough time, and two,
Neither do I.
I know I know he's had so many incidents and everything, but this no reaction to the crowd of when he's asking them for him to box is hilarious. And then he told him, you guys are stupid or something, and like asked him again, and there's like maybe five people in the crowd that said no. So I just want to put that out. That was probably one of the funniest clips I've seen in a while because it's no one was even in the crowd when he asked it. That's how bad it was. Uh,
Jesus.
just a little news. Kalisto, he was back as a. I think he was coaching some of the people up, and he was producing some of the matches on like the NXT live events, which is, I guess he's getting to that role, but they said he could potentially come back. I don't think he's really that old. I don't even know how old he is. But Kalisto was always, for me, he was always a fun person to watch wrestle for the most part. Now, just because of his high flying and other than the the Ryback stuff, that's I hate to say it, that is probably the most biggest thing he's known for. And then that when they had Elimination Chamber with tag team, when he wasn't he the one that went on the top of the cage and did that? I think.
I think so. The most memorable thing I can remember him doing was doing a Selena Del Sol from the top of a ladder on one of the Usos. That
Yes.
I can remember distinctively,
Yeah.
like
I,
visually in my mind.
I don't know. He got one of the best looking finishers when he does it though. But he's back as a coach. I don't know if he'll come back as a being a full time wrestler, but seems like he's back into that role. So let's go into some stuff that I hate this stuff. At a live event, a fan, a stupid damn fan, I should say, threw a drink or whatever on Scarlett or at her at least. Uh, you can talk about it first. I'll let you talk about it first because stuff like this, I understand back in the day there's a lot of stuff that went on, but we're not in that era where it's back in the 90s or whatever. We're not back in that era.
No, no, yeah, you said it perfectly there. Like we're not back in those times where you could get away with pretty much anything, like to do with like crowd interactivity and all that. Like it's not even crowd interactivity at that point. Like when you're in the crowd, like yeah, you can chat whatever you want, you can boo, cheer, what as long as you're not disrespectful to like in terms of like the talents, then yeah, you can chat whatever you want, go right at it. But like the second you lay your hands or like throw something at one of the talents for any reason, like that's when you're stepping over the boundaries, in my opinion. And yeah, like anything this fan gets like a ban or get arrested or whatever, he had it coming. Like you just don't do that. You really don't.
Um, I think it was told that he got arrested, but then there's another thing that came out because I looked at it today or right before said that there was actually no arrest somehow. So I guess she didn't press charges. So that's actually kind of surprising to me. But I don't know. I mean, Scarlett and Karen comes across from like a lot of the indie, like a lot of the independent scene and all that. So they've probably seen and had a lot of stuff happen to them like this, like in the past.
Probably.
So it probably didn't phase her that much. And I also like I don't know. I could understand where she didn't just press charges or anything. I'm kind of surprised with that, but I'm not at the same point just because I've always seen a lot of stuff like this, like doing certain shows and all that. Um, so one more thing we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get into World Cup, which is going to be mostly you, not me. I'm thinking of I'll predict this and that, but yeah. So Rey Mysterio was supposed to be in the World Cup, SmackDown's World Cup, but not really sure what his injury is. But he was in a walking boot. He was backstage with SmackDown. He was in a little walking boot, but it's not supposed to be serious. But it got him out of the World Cup and potentially probably Survivor Series. I'd say because I've been in a walking boot with I messed up my Achilles one point, strained him, and I had to be in a walking boot for a week. So depending on what it is, he's probably gonna have to be in that for like a week or two, and it'll take him a couple weeks to get back.
Yeah.
Because it did me the same way when I strained my Achilles, which is boy, that was the worst thing I probably have had. Um, so hopefully Ray is getting better, healing and getting better, and hopefully he'll be back real soon. I I absolutely love the move to SmackDown so he could get away from his
From
son.
Dominic.
Jesus, but I can already tell you they're going to revisit that in the Royal Rumble. That I can
Oh
already
yeah, 100%.
I can guarantee you they are going to revisit.
Yeah, you just know it. Like in the Rumble, like Ray's gonna come out at one entrant, and then one entrant or two later, excuse me, Dominic's gonna be out, and then they're gonna have a little face off. One will eliminate the other, or they'll both eliminate each other. Whatever's gonna happen, and they're probably going to lead to a 1v1 match at WrestleMania. Probably.
And Ray better beat his ass because
Yeah, agreed.
I see Dominic beat someone else that he shouldn't. I might lose it. You know, I understand what Triple H is trying to do and everything. I get it. I get it. But this man Dom cannot wrestle. And he's getting better little by little. Help him being in Judgment Day helps like 15 times better than what it should. But I don't know. I don't know. But all right, World Cup. I'm gonna let you take over. I'll do my 2 cents, but I'll let you take over with the World Cup.
Alrighty. Here we go. This will keep me on the stream.
I don't know. You are glitching a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, he's glitching a little bit. Hold on. Let's see. Oh yeah, he's a goner. Oh man, how did this happen? How did this happen? All right, guess left. So he should be able to come back, shouldn't he? All right, so I'm going to continue this thing, right? um, all right, I'm going to try to continue this. Hopefully, he should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more topics, and then we're going to do our top 5 women and male for WWE. And then we got a question from Mr. Yusuf. Thank you for the question. Um, what is our favorite wrestling moment in each decade? Like the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and then 2020s. In the 20s. So, yeah. Okay. So, hopefully. Okay. Maybe he's writing it down. I have no idea. I'm assuming he left so he could write down or something the matchups of the World Cup and then come and talk about it. So I'm going to improvise here. If you haven't watched, I have TKW episode 97, part 1 and part 2. Episode 98, part 1 and part 2 came out this morning. Go check those out. My universe mode, best thing on my channel. I'm flat out. Episode 99 will be live live, like we're live right now. Episode 99 will be live on Friday. Friday, episode 99. We're working our way to TKW Money in the Bank. In the bank. And I think, if I'm mistaken, let's see, episode, let's see. Yusuf versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. In a Money in the Bank. Why is my screen frozen now? Come on now. Bro, oh my gosh. Alright, there we go. But we had Yusuf versus Styles Money in the Bank qualifying match on episode 98, part 2. So we have our first contestant in the Money in the Bank. So I mean that will be Money in the Bank will turn out to be one of the best pay per views just because you got the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I I'm going. It's going to be simulated. There ain't no way I'm playing with 8 people. The women will have Money in the Bank also, but with how Universe Mode has, it only gives you a slot for 7 titles or Money in the Bank. So it's not even going to be Money in the Bank up there for the women. So that's the sucky part. But whoever wins there will have a guaranteed championship match, not a mid card like Mr. Austin Theory. Um, so yeah, let me ask him. I'd hate for. Let's see. I'm just waiting for his response. So we just, we going on the fly here. Going on the fly. So we can. Oh boy, he asked if it disconnected him. If he been talking this entire time, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. uh, oh my gosh. Hopefully, it'll let him come back in here. I don't know. Hopefully, I sent him a link back and everything. This going live with someone is, it's unique, it's new, so probably gonna have some kinks with it. And with him being overseas, connection wise might not be good just because, it's we're so far away, but it's, done good for the most part. It's just when I guess he was trying to go to like a tab to see who was playing, that's when it messed up. That's when it messed up. So I'll continue this podcast going, riding solo for the moment. Um, Braun Strowman, this idiot. Braun Strowman. He's got some backstage heat, as he should. I mean, people in the office, probably Triple H, did not like Braun Strowman doing this flippy floppy people and everything, tweets and everything. I don't understand. This knucklehead, Triple H gave him a job back. Like, why? Why would you do this? I don't know, man. Braun's a knucklehead. He's actually, man, his matches has actually been really good. Made sense. Everything just good. Then he does this after his Saudi match with Omos. Why? There's no reason to do these tweets. No reason. No reason at all. Um, yeah, I don't know. It just don't make no sense. I'm trying to see if. But we're gonna go to this NWA mess with Nick Aldis, which is married or dating Mickey James. What a lucky man. But Nick, with this NWA stuff, he told Billy Corgan and said, this is gonna be excuse me, this will be my last, his last dates are like ends like right at the new year. He said, this is gonna be it. I'm not gonna resign. And then everything the recent week or so, Billy has been in the news of saying some stupid stuff, trying to get, and then he had Tyrus, which is Brodus Clay, versus Trevor Murdoch, and no, you remember Trevor for being, a tag team wrestler with Cade, I believe. Lance Cade. Yes. Brodus Clay, no one wants to see. No one wants to see that match. He actually compared it. Just wait for this. He actually compared this to Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. You know, some people get lost with certain things and everything. And their mind just don't it just doesn't feel right. I know I'm not really saying it good, but like when you lose your mind a little bit, which is what Billy's done here with NWA. How you gonna compare Brodus Clay Towers versus Trevor Murdoch to Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar? uh, oh, it hurts my head. It hurts my head to even think that he had the nerve to say that. That's bad. That's very bad. Um, Triple H, at first, when he took over, did not like the Judgment Day at all. They were going he was just going to scrap him and restart. Luckily, he hasn't. So at first, didn't like him, but he's turned into definitely liking him, and they're going to be together for a longer period of time now than what they were probably going to be at first. Um, this group has done really well. Darren Priest has not looked any better. Finn the same way. Rhea, oh my God. Rhea is probably the best looking out of the group from this. Dom, I know I crapped on him. He's getting better little by little. It's helped him a ton. It's helped him a ton. Okay, so let me. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I just added it. All right. Ooh.
It seems it kicked me out whenever I tried to actually go on Google and look at the groups. So yeah, I didn't suspect that happening. So I've actually written down the groups now. So
See, I actually said that. I figured that's what you were going to do.
so yeah, so I've written down the groups now, so I'm fully prepared now. So that's good to know. If I ever go out of the application, I know it's going to kick me out. At least I know now. Okay, so
Hold on.
go
Before you
on.
start, I was talking about at first because I kind of just kept on going without you at least a little bit. Uh,
Yeah.
I talked about at first Triple H didn't like the Judgment Day at all, which I mean, who could
No.
of how Vince had them whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
But now he's grew to like them. I talked about that. I talked about let's see, Braun Strowman's stupid self. And I think that's it potentially. Oh, I talked
Yeah.
about that stupid NWA stuff with Nick and Billy Corgan comparing Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley to Iris, uh, Trevor Murdoch. Like that's probably the dumbest thing I've heard all year long. But let's
Yeah.
now go back to the World Cup and let you take over with that.
Okay, so I assume that I didn't actually, like, you guys never heard me talk about any of the groups, so I could go right back to the beginning. Alrighty then. All right, so Group A. So Group A has Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and the Netherlands. Which Senegal versus the Netherlands is particularly an interesting match of mine, considering the Netherlands and Senegal each have a player. One that is still at my club, one that was formerly at my club, and that's Van Dijk versus Mane. Virgil van Dijk for Sadio Mane, and I think Netherlands will get the win over Senegal in that match, and I think Netherlands will top the group at first place. I think Senegal will take second. I think Ecuador will take third, and I think Qatar will finish dead last. Unfortunately for Qatar, you may be the host city for the World Cup, but you're not getting much luck on this group. I don't think so. Group B: England, Iran, America, and Wales. We are coincidentally in the same group.
Uh,
Okay, so this group is going to be very interesting. In terms of who I think is going to top the group, no offense, I think it's going to be between England and us. It's going to be very dependent on who's going to win out of the game versus us and England. It's going to be close. Of course, England are going to be the nailed on hard favourites to top the group, considering the quality that their squad has compared to ours. But if there's one thing I've learned being a Wales fan over the years, is that you never ever count us out in an underdog situation. We proved that at the Euros 2016 competition when we made it all the way to the semi-finals. Believe it or not, yes, the semi-finals. We made it all the way there. In the quarterfinals, we drew Belgium. Everyone counted us out. Everyone was like, "Yeah, you're gonna lose this game. Like, there's no chance. You're going out." What did we do? We went ahead and beat Belgium somehow. We beat them, went on to the semi-finals. Unfortunately, lost to Portugal. Thanks, Ronaldo. Um, but yeah, so I think you can never really count us out. It's our first World Cup in, I think, 60 something years. So we're obviously going to be giving it everything we have. And of course, there's a bit of bias in there, of course, because I'm Welsh. But I think we will top the group. Just, just. I think England will take second. I think you guys will just miss out and be third. I think it's going to be close. The group, the space between first, second, and third, I think is going to be very minimal. And I think Iran is going to finish dead last. And it's going to be quite a distance. You
well,
can talk.
well, I hate to say it, but the USA is winning against Wales on the 21st. USA, I don't know any of the players, don't really care, but I'm going to support my country and say I hope that we actually. I don't know. We probably won't win, but
Hey, I respect supporting your country. I respect it. You have to back your country.
I will say this: even though I don't know any of the players, I know England is always good with when it comes to this. Like just overall because of playing FIFA. Uh, so, so I'll say England probably be at the top of that, but like you said, I think it will be first and third will be closer than what a lot of people think. Like how
Yeah, yeah, I think it's going to be very close, but yeah, of course England are the nailed-on favourites to top the group, but I think we will cause a shock. But I guess we will see what happens. But I think one thing we can all agree on: Iran is going dead last. That's something we can agree on. Group C: Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. I think Argentina is definitely top of the group. I think there's no doubt about that. The quality they have, and I think they're one of the favorites to win the World Cup overall. People want to see Argentina winning the World Cup just purely because Messi hasn't won the World Cup in his entire career, which is very shocking considering he's
that is crazy.
yeah, it's very shocking considering he's the greatest footballer to ever grace world Earth. I think, but yeah, they're definitely going to be up there in terms of making it to the late stages of the competition, and I know Wales are probably going to make it very far. So in terms of when we get eliminated, and in terms of what teams I want to see win it, Argentina are definitely one of them because I would like to see Messi hold it. But they're definitely top of the group no matter what. Poland and Mexico is between them both in terms of who gets second. I'm personally going to back Poland just purely because I think with the quality that they have up front with Robert Lewandowski, I think that will carry them through the second. I think Mexico will just miss out in third place, and Saudi Arabia will finish dead last. Group D. So we got France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia or Tunisia.
Don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to be completely honest. That country, I have no idea how to pronounce. So I don't know if I butchered that. Apologies to any people from that country. I'm sorry. I don't really know how to pronounce it that well. But yeah, France is definitely top of the group again, as along with Argentina. I think France is definitely going to be up there in terms of the favorites to win the World Cup. Of course, they are formerly World Cup champions. I think they're the defending champions. Actually, I think they won it the last time. So they're definitely going to be up there. You cannot deny the quality they have, like Kylian Mbappe. You have Benzema, you have Koundé, you have Kanate. Like you have like so many quality players in their team. So I think they will get through at the top of the group. I think Denmark will finish second place. I think they just have a lot more quality than Australia and Tunisia. So I think Denmark will finish second, Australia will finish third, and Tunisia will finish last. Group E. So you have Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. First place is going to be between Spain and Germany for me, obviously. In terms of who I'm personally going to back to finish top of the group, I'm going to go with Germany on this one, just purely because I think Germany has a lot more quality up front than Spain. Even though Germany will be missing one of their top strikers in Timo Werner, that is a big miss for them. But I think despite him missing out, I think they will just get through ahead of Spain. So I think, yeah, Germany will finish top. Spain will finish second. Japan will finish third, and Costa Rica will finish last. Group E. So we got Belgium, a team we're very familiar with in terms of Wales. Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. In terms of that group, I think there's no doubt in my mind. Actually, no, it's between Belgium and Croatia. I always underestimate Croatia, but they actually do have a lot of quality players. Like Modric is one, especially Modric. You have so many good players. But I think it's going to be Belgium. I think it's going to be Belgium. They'll just top the group. Like they have Kevin De Bruyne. They have Lukaku when he's fit. So like I think they just have like a lot of quality. I think Belgium will get top. I think Croatia will get second, but just miss out on top spot. Canada or Morocco for third. I'm personally going to back Morocco to get third, and I think Canada will get last place. Group G. Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Okay, so this is one of the easiest ones to predict for me in terms of who's getting top, and that's Brazil. Like, Brazil's getting top of the group. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind, and they're probably my favorite to win the World Cup. In terms of every team out there, I think Brazil, have the most chance of winning the World Cup this year. They just have so much quality, like from top to bottom, like strikers, midfielders, defense, goalkeepers. They have it all. Like they just have depth in everything. So I think Brazil will definitely top the group. Even though they didn't take Bobby Firmino, which I will never understand. I don't understand how you can take someone like Richarlison. I mean, I think Richarlison is a decent player, but compared to Bobby Firmino, I mean, Bobby Firmino is one of our players, like at Liverpool, so obviously I'm a bit biased there, but he is genuinely a better player than Richarlison, and he showed it this season. Like, he's been one of our best players. He's scored numerous goals, and Richarlison hasn't really scored many goals for Tottenham this season. So I don't understand how you can take Richarlison over Firmino, but anyway. Brazil will still top the group. Switzerland or Cameroon? I'm going to say Switzerland. I'm going to say Switzerland will take second. I think Cameroon will take third, and Serbia will finish last. Group H, and the last group, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and Korea. Okay, so in terms of Portugal, I think everyone's saying Portugal is going to make it all the way to the finals, and it's going to be Portugal versus Argentina in the World Cup final, and do the whole Messi versus Ronaldo thing in terms of who gets the World Cup. I personally don't see it. I see Argentina possibly making it all the way there. I don't see Portugal making it there. I don't think they're as good as what they used to be. like even just a few years ago. And Ronaldo himself, if it was Ronaldo at his best, I could see him carrying Portugal all the way to the finals. But lately, Ronaldo has nowhere near been his best. So I don't think so. And Portugal are missing a couple of players due to injury, like for example Jota. Jota is one of their best options up front, and he's going to be a big miss for them. So I will they still top the group? Maybe, but they also have Uruguay, who have a lot of great options up front, like Suarez, Nunez. Um, so I think that one's tough. Like that one's probably the toughest in terms of who's going to get first between Portugal and Uruguay. It's very unpredictable, but I'm going to go. Fuck it. I'm going to go Uruguay. I'm going to go Uruguay gets top. I'm going to go Portugal gets second. Ghana or Korea? I think I'll go Ghana third, and I'll go Korea dead last. And in terms of top favorites to win the World Cup, Brazil gets first in terms of who I think is going to win the World Cup. They're my top favorites. Excuse me. Argentina gets second, and I think you know what? I'm going to back the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands is going to be a very surprise. Not a surprise. They're a quality team, but no one expects them to get all the way to the finals or anything like that. They expect them to get like quarterfinals or semifinals at most. But I think they will generally make it very far, and I think they have a chance. So I'm going to go Netherlands as my surprise third pick to win the World Cup this year.
Yeah, well, with that being said, I'm placing a bet with Brazil winning the World Cup with the information I just got. All right.
Sorry if I lose your money.
But so I'm gonna try to watch a lot of the World Cup. I want to get into soccer more. Well, football. Okay, look. Okay, soccer for me because my football is different from yours. But
I'll let you off.
just overall, I want to get into it a little more. It is on ESPN a little bit more and USA Network a little bit more to watch it. But damn, it comes on at 9 a.m. for me, and that's when I'm like going from coming off from work. So it's like sucks because I'm not able to watch it most of the time.
Yeah, I can understand the time difference. That's like me with NBA actually, because whenever an NBA game is on, the Golden State, like every time one of their matches is on, it's very difficult to watch one of the games over here, and two, it's on at fucking stupid o'clock in the morning. Like it's on at I think around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, around that sort of time. And with me, either I'm in work because I work night shifts, or I'm asleep. So I can just never watch the games. So I can fully understand it with you and football. Just it's on a stupid time due to the time difference.
Yeah, the bad part is the only time you would be able to watch them early on in our day and like close to your night is if they come on Sunday. And if they come on like they have like a 3:30 slot, which is 8:30 for y'all, that's the only time you'll be able to watch it. Because they
Yeah,
haven't haven't started the Sunday games on ABC for us yet, but they will here soon. When football gets our football, American football, when it gets done, that's when they'll start doing like the games on A. So that's the only way you'll probably be able to watch some basketball. But I'm
yeah,
going to talk about basketball. There's not much to talk about. This beginning of the season, teams are struggling that shouldn't be. Warriors are struggling, honestly, which is surprising.
yeah. Steph is carrying us big time, from what I can see.
That man, Steph, boy, he, I'm a Mavericks fan, so the Warriors beat the Mavericks in the playoffs last year. Kind of bummed about. Kind of felt like that was going to happen because this man Luca can't do it by himself. Um,
No.
but there ain't really much to talk about with that. My football, we're on week. Damn, what week we on? It's about to be week 11. So I don't know. It's to that. Wait a minute. Tampa. Okay. Wow. I thought I had forgot about something. But we're on week 11 is coming up, and that's see they got 17, 18 weeks, so we're more than halfway through. So my team's Tampa Bay, and luckily we finally got a win in Germany, which is that was a great atmosphere. I hope they do go to Germany more, and everything. When they go to the UK, let me just tell you, they absolutely put on the worst games you could possibly have in the UK, which is, they really do. And the first time they went to Germany, that was probably the best game out of the international games that they've had, which is crazy. But
Fair enough.
But yeah, that sucks. Let's see. Okay, we got two more topics to talk about currently in WWE, and then we're going to answer the. Well, let's see. We might answer the question before we do top 5 women and male. But Bray Wyatt, great stuff that Bray's doing. I love his stuff. A lot of people are getting impatient with it, which is
Typical fans, really.
long-term stuff. There's a lot of these fans that just they want it now. They want it now.
They want it now, immediately. Yeah, they're like kids. It's like, we want it now. We want it now. No, be patient, for fuck's sake.
It's like a kid reaching in a candy jar wanting candy and they can't reach it and they're like little heads, their hands like this.
Yeah, we want it now. We want it now. It's like, be patient. Good things happen to those who wait.
But
please wait.
Obviously, Bray Wyatt has a lot of pull with Triple H, and rightfully so, because with Vince,
of course.
Vince fucked him. Honestly, he absolutely messed him up. So, he wants, of course, his brother Bo Dallas is going to be in this group, however they do the group. But he wants Bo, and then he wants Rowan back in the group, which I wouldn't mind to see Rowan in a group. I think that's when Eric Rowan was in his best in a group like this.
Oh, definitely.
So I understand that. I'm going to just ask you, who else do you think is going to be in this group? If it,
oh God. Okay, so
you don't have to solve it, but a few people that you think that might be. It doesn't have to be right on, but
okay. So I mean, what I thought when Bray Wyatt returned, and like when he brought all the like Firefly Funhouse characters to life and everything, I thought each one represented a superstar that was going to be in his stable. So I thought, like, with the whole like Sister Abigail thing, or like Abigail Witch or Abby Witch, whatever that character is called, I thought that was going to be like a female wrestler. I thought it was going to be someone like either Liv Morgan or Nikki Cross. Of course, that was before Nikki Cross actually came back to be Nikki Cross, but that actually did end up happening. Thank you, Triple H, because my word, Nikki ASH was not it. I hated that character with a passion. But yeah, I'm glad Nikki Cross is back to being Nikki Cross again. So I'm hoping maybe after War Games and she moves on to doing her own stuff away from Damage Control, I'm hoping maybe she'll do something with Bray Wyatt. Maybe. So maybe she can be in that group. Or maybe she'll just do her own thing. I don't know. There was, of course, a tease with Alexa Bliss, like Bray Wyatt's logo popping up on the Titantron next to Bliss. So there's a bit of a tease there. So I don't know if Bliss will go back to be with Wyatt. That could be a thing. In terms of like male superstars, I would like to see be in the stable. I'm not quite sure. Like, Ooh. I don't know. It's quite tough because like everyone's sort of doing their own thing or in their own like kind of stable. Like that's one thing I do like about WWE nowadays is that there's a lot more stables, a lot more groups, which I think is like very old fashioned WWE, like how it used to be. There was a lot of groups, a lot of stables, everyone doing their own thing. So yeah. In terms of who would make sense as well, it has to make sense. It can't just be someone thrown in. I think it has to be someone that makes sense. Because, like, say you have Bray, say you have Eric Rowan, say you have Bo Dallas, it has to be someone that either knows Bray or is very associated with him, like in the past, has history. So that's why maybe someone like Alexa Bliss would be perfect. But it depends of whether you would want Alexa Bliss to go back to that sort of character or whether you'd want Alexa to do what she's doing now or like go back to full goddess Bliss that was on top of the division like a few years back. But yeah, to be honest, in terms of male superstars right now in the WWE, I'm not quite sure. I'd rather hear your opinions on it because maybe you will have a better idea than me because I'm not too sure to be honest.
I probably don't have any better idea overall, but I will say this: I think Bo and Rowan make sense. I think those
Yeah,
two should be in it. Um, and also Rowan has actually been. I don't follow him on Twitter, but I see it every now and then. He's been like videos and stuff, so it makes sense for him to be in the group. I actually think there'll be two women in the group. Liv Morgan is definitely one of them. I don't care what anyone says. Liv
yeah,
Morgan of them, and I think Alexa will be the other because look, they've been teasing the stuff with Alexa, and Alexa has been known the last this was like a month ago or longer that she wanted something different, and this is probably just something different. Either that or she goes.
very different.
But I think there's only three women that could be in it, and you've already named them as Nikki, Alexa, and Liv. I think those are the three. I think that's kind of. It's not like very good, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but those three definitely. Two of those are in the group. Rowan and Bo. That leaves at least one person. Um, that one person, not really sure. Not really sure. Uh, but I wouldn't. I think it's going to be someone outside of the company.
I think so too because I don't think there's anyone in like WWE nowadays that would really suit it. So I think someone like outside of the company, I think would be the way to go. I mean, if I had my dream scenario, like even though it's not happening, like he's already like made it clear that he hasn't left AEW and he's not going to WWE, and that's Aleister Black. Like I would love to like see him come back to WWE and be involved in that sort of stable with Wyatt. I think that would be money, but yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, I would have brought him up if AEW didn't have a House of Black video on their Twitter that just happened like the last week or so. Uh,
Yeah.
I would actually because I think he wants to come back, but he's not going to be one of those that he signed the contract. He probably going to try to stay there as long as he's not
Yeah.
those that's going to jump back like ASAP. I,
No.
but the last news before we answer the question and then do our top five is Stone Cold wrestling at WrestleMania this upcoming one. Now, normally I'd say, hey, leave it and let it be, but Stone Cold is one of my favorites of all time. I relate to Stone Cold more than The Rock or Triple H, any of the top people in the Attitude Era, Taker, anybody. Um, just because he's a Southern person. I live in the Southern states. Just how he grew up and all that. I can relate to him more. Um, if he was to come back, who you have him wrestle for one more last match? I think this would
Ooh.
definitely be his last match, though.
See, I'm in two minds about Stone Cold, like coming back and wrestling again. Because on one hand, I do want to see it because in that match against Kevin Owens, Stone Cold showed that he can still go. Like, given the right opponent that is safe, like Kevin Owens was, he's one of the safest workers. Then Stone Cold can have a banger still. Like, like one of his match with Owens was one of the best of that Mania weekend, and that says something. So I think give him the right opponent, and I think it'll be fine. The reason why I would say I probably wouldn't like to see it is because the whole story behind Stone Cold's match with Owens was that he wanted to have his last match in Texas. So I just feel like if he has another match, it would kind of ruin that. But then again, I mean, WWE's ruined retirements all the time, so I mean, it wouldn't be anything different, would it? So yeah, that's why I'm in two minds about it. But if it does happen, the person I would like to see Stone Cold wrestle, funny enough, I think you've got to go with a big dream match on this one if it's to be his last match. I think Cena. Like it's two huge names, like two huge faces of the company. Like it's probably the biggest match you could do with Stone Cold. So I think Stone Cold versus Cena, a match that's never happened, a match that everyone always wanted to see. Why not? Cena's very safe, probably the safest worker there, like in the wrestling world. I think why not? Just go for it.
This is where I'm going to throw a curveball to what you just said. I I think, and I actually had Cena in this notes with Stone Cold because Cena is they've basically confirmed that he'll be at WrestleMania in Hollywood to wrestle probably for sure,
Yeah,
and I think his opponent will be Austin Theory. They're setting that up. They're setting that up from a mile away, and we can talk.
true, true.
He went off on Raw, which is a good way to boost start a newer person and stay and erase erase the selfie stupid thing that he's been doing. It
Yeah.
basically Triple H is Austin Theory, not the old man's Austin Theory. I think Cena will face Theory at WrestleMania, and I think Cena will put Theory over too. I'll put that.
Yeah, really.
Yes, I will put that out there. I think he will. But this is where I'm going to throw a very big curveball because people don't think they're going to sign him. But I'm going to put it like this: Stone
Punk.
versus Punk. Stone Cold's either
It is a match.
he's either facing Punk or Cena if he comes
Yeah.
back.
It is a match that has literally been asked for the longest time. Like when Punk was in WWE and Stone Cold was retired, everyone was just like, "Oh, imagine if that match happened!" Like also the promo battles that they would have had.
And the Punk one makes only reason for me it makes more sense is because they had that back and forth a lot of times on screen and in a video with JR with just promoting a video game. That would be another reason for Stone Cold to be able to come back and erase that my last match in Texas thing. That's that's where I could see it come from.
Yeah, yeah, potentially, yeah. Like yeah, CM Punk would probably make the most sense. Yeah, like if they did end up signing CM Punk to the company again, yeah, I say go for it because yeah. Apart from Cena, that is literally the biggest match you could possibly come up with for Stone Cold and Punk, respectfully.
And see, look, I don't know if they will sign him, but I've been on record and I've said this with all the backstage stuff and all that's that went on. I think they should at least for a year or two and let him run his course. Only reason I say that is one, they're going to get more viewership. Triple H is not going to live in the past like Vince would.
No.
Triple actually talk it out with Punk and actually they will have a good idea where it's coming from, and then Punk will probably realize where it looked like because Triple H he's with Stephanie at that certain period of time and everything. Vince is his father-in-law and all that, but now since Vince is out of the way, I think he'll see and realize, dang, Triple H is actually a different person. He's not that type of person, from
Yeah.
what it looked like when he was there first. That's the only reason I could see that match. But realistically, it'd be crazy if they did sign him back, just overall in general, because you'd never think they would. That's the only reason I could see it a lot. If it ain't Cena or Punk, I don't know who it is.
Beats me. I mean, there is like many dream matches that he could have, like Styles, Rollins, etc. Like you could name the names that he could face, but none that would really make sense in terms of like his last match. Whereas Punk, they have the history, is a dream match. Everyone would like to see it. It makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, those are the only two. And then look, I'm I'm gonna put this out here. This is the only one. If he came back from injury, would be Logan Paul somehow.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Look. Hear me out. Hear me out. The only reason I'm gonna throw this out here is because one. Never mind. No, I'm gonna throw that.
Yeah, even you know that's a bit like I like Logan. I'm gonna say this right now. I think Logan is very underrated. I think like everyone needs to like dial on the hate a little bit because like I a few years ago like I was never a big like Logan fan. In fact, I despise him. But like he's earned my respect ever since he started like training and like put his all into professional wrestling. Like I respect that 100%. And in the three matches that he's had, he's killed it and done his best every single time. And the match with Roman Reigns is the prime example of that. He killed it. He did. He killed it. Especially for like his third match, having like going like what, like 25 minutes, 20, 25 minutes with arguably, like, well, I wouldn't say arguably, the top name in wrestling right now. And the biggest thing in wrestling right now, Roman Reigns, like if anyone else does that, like everyone will be praising him to no end. But because it's Logan, of course, he has his haters. But love him or hate him, you have to respect him. You do. So I would say I would like to see Logan wrestle more in WWE. But yeah, just like the Stone Cold call, and nah.
Well, the only reason I did that is because you got Stone Cold as a big wrestling name, you got Logan as a social media person, but
It would bring a lot of names.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't. The styles wouldn't fit. That's the only reason I erased that. But
That also, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got done with all that stuff, which we've went a good while now. Which I don't mind because I could keep on and keep on. But we got from you. So favorite wrestling moment in each decade. So we're gonna go from '90s to the early 2000s, 2010,
Oh boy.
and 2020s. So
Oh boy.
we only got like 2 or 3 years. So I will start off. 90s. We'll go from 90s up. Um, damn. There is a lot of moments in the 90s, especially with Attitude Era.
Yep.
There really is. Damn. If I did a one true moment, I'm gonna say Mick Foley winning the championship, winning the WWE championship, WWF at the time. But Foley winning the championship, that crowd, Stone Cold, just everyone out there, it was a big film moment. They were going to make sure it was going to be the biggest thing in Foley's career, which, I mean, for me, it was in general. Now, I know he got Hell in a Cell, but for me, that was his biggest moment. Because, like, towards the end, after he, like, won and everything, he basically kind of, he talked, said his kids' names and said, Daddy's coming home, and, like, it kind of broke somewhat character, if that makes sense. And you hardly ever saw that in the 90s. You hardly ever saw it on television.
That is very true.
So I'm going to say Foley winning the championship, that crowd with that reaction was amazing. And just everything, because you had DX out there, you had Big Boss Man, Shamrock, you had everybody out there, so you knew it was going to be a big moment. Then you had Stone Cold coming out, absolutely hitting the hell out of the Rock with the steel chair. And so that is going to be my 90s probably favorite moment, just because of just everything that went on. It was well done, and then that was the downfall of WCW with that stupid. Oh, Mick Foley's winning the championship. Yeah, well, they look fucking stupid for that now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm actually going for the same moment because, like, yeah, it is one of the greatest moments in WWE history. Like, especially the crowd pop when Stone Cold came out. Like, it's one of the loudest pops of all time. Like, it's ridiculous. And just, yeah, like him, like, cracking the Rock with a steel chair, putting Mick Foley on him, the 3 count, Mick Foley winning the championship, everyone going nuts. Like, it's such a great moment. I just say Mick Foley finally get the job done. So, yeah, to be honest, I have no disagreements. I think that is genuinely the greatest moments in the 90s. I can agree with that.
And look, I think referee better recognition. I think they need to start doing referees in the Hall of Fame. Because you got should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, Earl Hebner in the 90s did all the biggest matches. And his little, one, he do so many slow counts, and he built it up.
Yeah.
You see referees do that now, but you don't see him do it as what they used to. Like, he always
No.
it'd be like you watching, like, just something drop slowly, and then he'd, like,
Yeah.
out or something. It was.
Yeah, I love the slow counts. I do. Like, it just builds suspense. Even though, yeah, you could say, well, yeah, it's a slow count, which means the wrestler should have won if it was a normal count. Yeah, but it builds suspense. Like, especially if the referee went down previously, and of course the referee's hurt, so then he counts slowly. Like, it builds the suspense, and that makes it just a smidge better if you want to build up a near fall.
Boy, when Herb went down, his count was slow when it was normal. But oh man, it just was. He's the best referee in my books ever, just because of how he did. He got involved with matches too and stuff, and just overall in general. All right, 2000s. I'm gonna let you.
Oh God, okay. There's a lot of great moments in the 2000s. Oh boy. Ooh. Okay, I gotta think about this one. Oh. Oh God. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moments. Like Ric Flair's retirement, that match, like the super kick, the sweet chin music, 1, 2, 3, Ric Flair retires. That to me is the perfect retirement. And Ric Flair should never have ruined that with wrestling more in like TNA afterwards and then recently with wrestling. Like that to me was the perfect retirement. So I'm gonna have to go with that. It's one of the best moments of all time for me.
Dang. Uh, Yep. Well, hopefully we don't have the same one with the 2010s.
You have to say one.
I'm trying to think because I've this is how much I love WrestleMania 24. It's a top 5 for me just because of you know you had you still had the Divas era, which sucked. That's the only downfall of the WrestleMania. I mean, you had Snoop Dogg with it, but still, Snoop made it at least a little bit better. But you had Orton, you had Cena, Triple H, Triple Threat, which I'll never forget. Good stuff.
Oh, that match was great.
You had, Shawn and Rick, which yeah, fuck that. Yeah, that's my moment. Just because I've watched that match over and over and over and over and over so many times. And then people forget that opening contest was JBL and Finley and everything. And what the
fuck?
um
Get out of here.
okay, that
Yep. None of that shit in the chat. There we go.
oh my gosh. Whoa, who would be doing that? Someone gotta be I don't even care.
Yeah, gotta be trolling. Gotta be trolling.
That's
Some low life.
that's bad. But yeah, that WrestleMania for me is top 5. We can get into that another time because WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But Flair and HBK because that story tells it all, and Ric Flair kind of just all that with going to TNA, and then the one last match, dude. Like you're 80 years old or whatever. I don't know how.
Yeah.
We don't.
You have no business being in the ring.
Yeah, we don't want to see him wrestle. I'll start off the 2010s. I think this one's gonna be an easy one for me. Uh, Not in a million years would I have thought he would have came back, and that is Brock Lesnar.
Brock?
Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar. That look, this is how big that arena was chanting for him. One, Cena was telling The Rock to come out and let's shake hands and everything. They didn't even care that The Rock might show up. They were chanting Brock, Brock, and then he came out to one of the biggest reactions in a long time. That for me will be probably one of the best returns ever, just because I've always been huge on Brock. So that for me is my probably favorite moment of the 2010s. I mean, there's a lot of good moments. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good moments in this 2010s, and I look Seth's cash in being one of them too, but Brock's return for me will always be so big.
Yeah. I won't have the same one, but I do think oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
Let's see here. Can we let's see.
Christ alive. Okay.
Oh my god. I guess we on for whatever, however long.
Yeah. All right then. So yeah, Brock is definitely up there. It is one of my favorite moments in the 2010s as well. I won't say it as my top favorite because there are so many. Like there's The Rock's return. There's the Undertaker's streak ending. There's Daniel Bryan's winning the championship moment at WrestleMania 30 in the main event. There's Seth Rollins' cash in. Like, there's so many you could say. So many. Um, in terms of my favorite moment, oof, I mean, even though I don't agree with how it happened, and I don't really agree with the person that did it, but I'm going to go with the Undertaker streak ending. That to me is one of the biggest shock in WWE history. Like just the way when the 3 count happened and the crowd was just dead silent, like nobody said a word, like no reaction whatsoever. It was just shock all across the world. So that to me is something that cannot be done ever again. That sort of like atmosphere, that sort of reaction for something happening, that cannot be done again. So that for me, I think is going to have to be the one, the Undertaker streak ending, because I never thought it'd happen.
Okay, so so that I had a buddy. I don't talk to as much, but I was talking to him, and then I told him, I said, and I was dead serious when this happened, dead serious. I said, for some reason, I have a feeling Brock's going to beat the Undertaker and break his streak. I don't know. I don't know what had it in me when I said that, but I said, man, I think Brock's in his streak. And this dude, a friend of mine. He was a huge Taker fan. I mean, huge, huge, huge. And I told him, I said he's going down. He said, oh no, 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 he ain't going down. Blah 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 blah. When I texted him and I told him, I said, I told you he'd do it. He said, what are you talking about? I said, Brock ended Taker's streak. He said, you have got to be kidding me. He was shut. That moment right there that's probably number 3 on my list. I'd say number 2 on the 2010s would be Bryan's win at WrestleMania. Only reason I have that at number 3 is I wasn't too shocked when it happened. All over.
Fair.
Just because I had a feel. I know that I had a feeling that the streak was going to end sometime. In the back of my head, I thought it was going to end sometime. That's the only reason I wasn't as shocked. Now, if I was in the arena, I'd probably be the same as everyone else seeing it live. But overall, I wasn't too shocked.
Fair enough.
2020s, which is only 3 years or something. Well, what's your best
Oh.
moment of that so far?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I just gotta think now. Because I'm gonna be very honest. Like the 2020s, basically like when 2020 came around. That's when I sort of got away from wrestling for a while. Like it actually started happening around late 2019. Around late 2019 is when I started like not enjoying wrestling as much, and I was just like, I think I need a break. So like around the 2019 to 2021, I really was not into wrestling much at all. I was just like full football. Like I paid attention to wrestling now and then, and I sort of kept an eye, and I watched like WrestleMania obviously because I watch WrestleMania every year. Who doesn't? But and the Rumble. But like in terms of actually watching Raw and SmackDown, NXT, like just watching consistently, I didn't do that. So, but in terms of like my favorite moments of the 2020s, I would probably would have to say Stone Cold's return, like Stone Cold's return, Stone Cold wrestling Kevin Owens. I probably say that's my favorite moment. Actually, when Edge returned, when Edge returned to the Rumble, was that in 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got to be that one. It's got to be that one then. Yeah, it's got to be that one.
It was right before they shut off for. I mean, not shut off, but when no fans and all that. It was right before that.
Yeah, because I was thinking, was that 2019 Rumble or 2020 Rumble? I was like, if that's 2019, then I can't say it. But 2020, okay, yeah. So yeah, Edge's return has got to be. Like I remember actually being in a watch party for it. It was my first ever watch party. Like going to watch a WWE pay per view, like in a follow like bar and everything with a bunch of people. And when Edge returned, like I just remember me and like everyone in that building going absolutely crazy. It was nuts. So yeah, it's my favorite moment of the 2020 so far. It has to be.
Yeah, I think that's really a given one if you ask a lot of people, honestly. And for me, that's mine. But if I had to pick a different one, it'd be Stone Cold returning, obviously. But
Yeah,
me because it was, I mean, it was reported that he would be, and then it got shut down. So it was one of those that they kept under the water a good bit and everything.
yeah.
So yeah, Edge's return for me. I mean, that's got to be it because didn't expect it at all. Did not.
No,
All right,
I still get goosebumps whenever I look back on it. Like whenever I watch it again, I still get chills. So it has to be that.
I watched it. I think it was yesterday or something. Man, it just for me. I don't know. It's just crazy because I honestly I never would have thought he would have came back
No,
with how his neck and all that was. Okay. All right. Since we got all that out, we got last one, last stuff. Top 5 women and male for WWE favorites right now. It doesn't have to be who's the best right now, but just your favorites in general. That's currently going right. Currently going right now. Um, so I'm gonna do this for the men. I think for me, the bloodline is my favorite thing going on right now. So I'm not even gonna put them on the list. If that makes sense, I'm not gonna put them on the list because that's a general number one for me right now because of Sami Zayn, that dynamic with Jay, with Roman, and just everything with that. That's my consistent number one because they have had great, great, great television.
oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, they've been the best thing on WTV for the longest time now. So I
But
can agree with that.
but we can go with the women first. Um. Uh. Let's see. I'll go with my number 5 right now, and she just recently returned, so she would be higher on the list if she hadn't, and that's Emma.
Ooh, nice, nice. That's a little bit of a. I know you're a big Emma fan, but like some would say that's a bit of a shock. But yeah, I know you're a big Emma fan, so yeah,
Yeah.
nice pick.
So I'm really hoping that they roll the ball with her and get her into some program or something. I mean, I know with Survivor Series and then Royal Rumble, she's probably going to be in that middle mix right now, but I'll go with Emma with my number 5.
Okay, in terms of my number 5, I am going to go with Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley. I think her in the Judgment Day right now is one of the best things on WWE TV. Like I've always been a big fan of Rhea Ripley ever since like the Mae Young Classic. Like when she like the first Mae Young Classic, I saw something in her, but like not too much. But when she came back with the look that she has now in the second Mae Young Classic, I was like, okay, there's a star there. So then when she went in NXT UK and she won the title there, yeah, she quickly became one of my favorites in the wrestling world, and yeah, she hasn't really moved ever since. Like, I think she's extremely talented, has all the potential in the world, and yeah, like the thing she's doing with the Judgment Day right now is, in my opinion, one of the best things that she's done in her career since joining WWE. Like, I just love like the thing, like, even though it's Dominic, I know it's Dominic, but like the thing she's got going on with Dominic right now is a very interesting like dynamic that they got going on, along with Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I really do love the Judgment Day right now, so I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley as my number 5.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm just trying to write down my top 5 in general. So I've already got that. Um, Number 4 for me. I know she's in the middle of this war game stuff and everything, but I feel like after they get done with that in Rumble, she's going to pick up by herself, and that's Asuka. I got Asuka at 4.
Well, I can tell you Oscar is in my 5, but she's not 4. In terms of my number 4, I'm going to go with Bailey. Yeah. Bailey, ever since. Oh, go on.
I actually put Damage Control as a group.
Oh, have you? Okay. So I'll put him as a group then. I'll put him as a group. So that'll actually. Yeah, okay. So that actually changes my list a bit, but yeah, I'll put him as a group. So actually, I won't put Bailey at number 4. Instead, I will put Bianca Belair at number 4. Um, so no, actually, no, I'm wrong. I'll put Nikki Cross there. I'll put Nikki Cross at number 4. Because I think Nikki Cross, like ever since she's like come back to like the Nikki Cross gimmick, like my interest in her has gone back to being peak. Because like in NXT, I love Nikki Cross. She was one of my absolute favorites in NXT. I found her character very intriguing with sanity and all that. Even without sanity, I thought she was very interesting. Like, for example, some of the character work that she was doing with Aleister Black in NXT, like when Aleister Black was attacked by John Gargano, who at the time we didn't know about, and she was like playing that sort of story of like, I know who it is, and playing with Aleister Black's mind a little bit. I love that sort of thing. So I've always been a big fan of Nikki. So I'm happy to see that she's back to the Nikki Cross gimmick, and I'm very excited to see what she does going forward after War Games, after she goes away from Damage Control and does her own thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go Nikki Cross at number 4.
All right, and so that's where Damage Control comes to me with number 3. Overall, as a group, I do like them. They've been iffy off and on, but I think they're starting to get like a little momentum, if that makes sense. Just a little, going forward. Dakota got her crazy stuff. Io Sky has like her own, you know, stuff. Like, we know all of them are actually really great wrestlers, and Bailey is just Bailey. I'd probably have Bailey higher, Damage Control, I should say, as a group higher if Bailey was champion. Because I think just something, Triple H has kind of done Bailey wrong. I think she should have been champion already. I will say that.
Yeah,
But
I agree. I think Bailey should have won the title by now.
but that's I have them at number 3 for me. Which, okay, look, I'm on just say this already. I feel bad, but Nikki is not in my top 5. She would be right outside at 6, just because she's just starting to come back. That's the only reason
Yeah.
she's top 5 at the moment.
Yeah, I can understand that. Wait, just give me a sec. Alright. Okay, so my number 3, I am going to go with. I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair at number 3. I think Bianca, ever since she's become champion, like has done excellently well. Like she's carried the division ever since she's won the title, and she's done it very well. I say she's exceeded a lot of expectations from when she first joined the main roster. Like especially when she was in NXT, like. Triple H liked her. Don't get me wrong. She just was never the champion at NXT. Like she couldn't quite get there because there was always a few women above her back then. But yeah, when she went to the main roster and she first appeared on the main roster with the Street Profits, everyone thought like she wasn't going to amount to very much because we know what Vince is like. But Vince actually seemed to like Bianca Belair very well. And then she just made herself into a star, which I can appreciate, considering like before she went to WWE and went into the Performance Center, like she had no previous wrestling experience, so she wasn't in the Indies, none of that. But she showed that if you have talent, natural talent, and you
Mm.
have dedication, you can really make yourself into the top of WWE. How like little experience you have. So I find Bianca Belair's story very inspirational. I do, and I find her very talented both in the ring and on the microphone. And yeah, she is one of my favorite things in the women's division right now. So yeah, I would say she is deservedly in my top three.
Okay, so that's where I have Bianca at number two for me. Um, I have Bianca at number two. Uh, like you just said, match after match, she just performs like she been doing this for like 10 plus years, and when she hasn't. Um, just man, the talent she has, you can tell when someone knows they have talent. She knows how good she is and everything. She, just how she holds herself and everything. That's why she's number two for me. So that leaves me like Emma, Oscar, Damage Control, and Bianca, and then I have my number one. So I'll let you say your number two.
My number two is Asuka. Asuka has always been one of my top favorites in WWE ever since she appeared in NXT, had a run in NXT as NXT Women's Champion, that undefeated reign, which I really don't like how it ended. I am very much with the opinion of everybody else that she should have never have lost it to Charlotte at Mania. But yeah, I do like I like that she's finally finding her feet again. It seems like she's starting to gain momentum up again. Because like when she had that period of time after she lost the streak, that she was just kind of like just endlessly like just going around on the roster. Like I hated that. I always saw like Oscar as like, how can you not push this woman? Like I know like language barrier and all that, but even without like her like great English, like she is still one of the most entertaining people on that roster, no doubt about it. Like she carried the pandemic era especially. Like just her entertainment value just she exudes charisma. Like in my opinion, like she's one of the best in the ring and she grabs your attention no matter what she's doing. So yeah, she's always been one of my top favorites, like in terms of all the women's division over the past few years. So she's definitely at my number two without a shadow of a doubt.
Um, and my number one is actually your number five, and that is Rhea Ripley. Rhea has for me has been every time she's on TV and everything, I pay attention just because of how good she has been in this role with Judgment Day. Now she hasn't. Now, quite enough, she hasn't wrestled that much, but I think overall, every time you had the Beth stuff, now you got the Mia Yim, going back and forth. I don't know. Rhea just has been her first television match coming back will be War Games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that'll be the first time we see her on television. At least she's done live events, but this first time well, she did the NXT stuff. I forget, but I don't watch NXT because it's
No.
not
Neither
really
do I lately.
not really that
But
good.
yeah,
But Rhea is number one for me, and they are teasing her and Bianca Belair.
Bianca for WrestleMania.
It,
Definitely.
and that's when I think Bianca should lose the title. But Rhea's been so good, I would have her have a dominant reign. Dominant. But Rhea is
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, I agree with that. To be honest, the only reason why I did have Rhea higher is because she hasn't been wrestling much lately. If she had been wrestling, then she would have been higher. Because yeah, like whenever she's in like every segment, my full attention is on her. Like just a character work in Judgment Day it's unmatched right now. My number one, I think it's pretty obvious now. It's Damage Control. Like Damage Control, just as a group, like it's just the individuals alone. Like Io Sky, Bailey, and Dakota Kai. They're three of my favorites in the women's division just by themselves, but together, I absolutely love them. Like when Bailey like returned to SummerSlam and then Dakota came afterwards and then Io, like it just went up in terms of my excitement because I was like, oh shit, Bailey's back! Like this is going to be a great return to the women's division that the women's division really needs. And then Dakota came back, which nobody saw coming considering she was released. So like, and then I was just like, okay, so nice little fresh blood into the division. Nice to bring it up a bit. And then Io, who in my opinion yeah, it is my opinion. Is the best women's wrestler in the world in terms of in the ring. Like, I just love watching Io wrestle. It's just banger after banger after banger. Even when she's not like fully on her game, like she just continually puts on bangers. So just and see the three as a group, like sort of dominate the group. I do think there has been a couple of booking decisions that has like gone wrong with them every now and then. Like for example, like Io and Dakota losing the belts just to gain them back right away. I really don't understand that decision by Triple H. That is one decision I would never have gone with. And I do think Bailey like should have won the title over Bianca. One of the two times that she faced her, because I think something they could have done if they wanted to go Rhea at WrestleMania against Bianca, like they could have had Bailey win the belt, hold on to it until maybe Royal Rumble, say that, and then have Bianca win the belt back in order to do Bianca versus Rhea. Um, so I think that's the way they could have gone on about it. But yeah, just Damage Control is my favorite thing in the women's division right now, and I hope like if Bailey doesn't win the Raw Women's title, then I sort of hope she goes over to SmackDown and like they go over to SmackDown and then maybe Bailey wins the SmackDown Women's title because I think Bailey does deserve to win a title.
Well, I will say this. Notice Emma is the only SmackDown women because I love Emma. The SmackDown Women's division is trash.
Yeah, it is bad.
Trash.
It is really bad.
It. Let me not even get started with that. That'll be another topic of another time.
Yeah.
All right. So the last thing, the absolute last thing, top 5 men currently. I'm gonna let you start this one off.
Okay, so top 5 men right now. So I assume with you that you're not going to put Roman Reigns in your list because it goes without saying. Okay, so I will do the same because
I'm not putting any of the bloodline. That's including Sami Zayn, if that makes
that's
sense.
including Sami Zayn. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to do the same because yeah, along with you, like it is pretty much a given. Like if both of us were doing this list, Roman Reigns would be at the top of both of our lists.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go with number 5 being. Ooh, there's a few here. I'm gonna go with fucking Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens at number 5 because I think Kevin Owens, like before he got injured, I think he generally was one of the best things on WWE TV. Like ever since he came back as the prize fighter, and he was just putting on like some amazing promos against like the likes of like Drew McIntyre, Austin Theory, like just some absolutely incredible promos. And obviously, some of the matches he's been having lately as well. Like, and he deservedly should be in the War Games match if he's able to be in there. But yeah, Kevin Owens is at my number 5.
All right. Yeah. Hey, my head's a little spinning trying to figure out how I'm going to put these rankings up. All right. Let me. Oh boy. You thought I'd been more prepared, but here I am. I am not. As my number 5 right now. Boy, I hate spam calls. Jesus, right in the middle of the stream too. Oh, do y'all get a lot of? Do you get any spam calls like from the UK? Like, do you guys get that, or is it just you?
Oh yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we
all
get
right,
it too.
all right, all right. I was about to say, I was like, man, we get a lot over here, so I didn't know. Um, Geez, I have really lost it. I cannot. Uh,
It's very tough, I know.
all right, number 5 for me is going to be Bobby Lashley. Um, Honestly, I'd probably have him higher on the list, but I'm gonna go with him on number 5, and that's not a dig on him because I think he's done great, great, great stuff. I mean, for a long time now, since the Hurt Business, he has been absolutely on fire. Then he has the Almighty stuff, and he's probably going to eventually, since they gotten Shelton on TV, Cedric Alexander on TV. I think the Hurt Business is coming back eventually. So if it does come back, he'd probably be higher on the list if they were already back. But I got him on number 5.
I agree with Bobby Lashley actually. Like Bobby Lashley just misses out on my top 5, unfortunately for Bobby. Like just, but he is one of my favorites in WWE at the moment, and that actually says something. Considering a few years ago when he first came back to WWE, I was really not a fan of Bobby Lashley. Like I found him absolutely boring, as like most did. Like he just had like pretty much no direction. The stuff he was doing was cringy. It was uninteresting. Like let's not forget the absolutely terrible segment he had with Sami Zayn. Like the whole like Bobby Lashley's sister segment. Like Christ alive. But yeah, like ever since like MVP became his manager a while ago, then he had the Hurt Business. He's really came into his own, found his feet, and became one of the best things on WWE. So I could agree with that. Um, in terms of my number 4, I am going to go with Finn Balor. I'm gonna go with Finn Balor. I think again, Judgment Day has been one of the best things that has happened to Finn Balor in a long time because now it's given him the momentum that he needs. He had a fantastic feud with Edge, great match, a great win for him, and now he's feuding with Styles, which I do like. Is giving Styles some direction as well because I think like direction for Styles has been lacking for a long time, which is criminal to say for Styles. But now that the Judgment Day and the OC are feuding, I think that's given both stables something to do. And yeah, I don't know whether Balor is the leader of the Judgment Day. I don't know if they even have a leader, but he is obviously one of the bigger members of that group. And yeah, it's just benefited them a lot. He's been one of the best things on TV, in my opinion.
Rhea is the leader. That's what I think. Um. Mm, 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 mm. All right, so I'm changing my list up a little bit here. Okay. So
Did I make you think about Finn Balor?
I'm on. Even though he's been out just recently and just got injured, Owens is my number 4. Owens is my number 4. I mean, basically, Owens has been been delivering good matches consistently, and then they took him off because they were going to have him off for a little bit, so he could come back with War Games, and now he's gotten hurt. So hopefully he's back. He'll be back for that. Hopefully, but yeah, Owens is my number 4. Owens is my number 4.
Okay. Okay, my number 3, I am going to go with the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, or Volter, as he used to be called. Um, yeah, Volter slash Gunther. I'm just gonna call him Gunther because it's his current name. Gunther's been one of my favorites ever since NXT UK when he first like debuted NXT UK and then had that classic against Pete Dunne, had that and then had that UK reign that is synonymous with Gunther now at this point, and the amount of classics he's had against the likes of Tyler Bate, Ilya Dragunov, Sheamus, like Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown. Now, just recently, Rey Mysterio. Like the man can have bangers against anybody, no matter what, and he has such a old school style that pretty much is not around anymore. Like, yeah, just good. So, along with Imperium, overall has been one of my favorite things to watch on TV for the longest time now. Like even while in NXT UK. So yeah, I think the Intercontinental title reign has been amazing, and I also don't know who's going to beat him, to be honest, because let's not forget like the feud he had with Sheamus, like it has been amazing with the brawling bruise that he had. So yeah, Gunther's my number 3.
Uh, Now we can talk about this another time, but I think that's the man that's going to beat Gunther eventually. Um, my number 3 will be Finn Balor. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Finn fan all the way. I never been like a huge Finn Balor fan, but what he's done with Judgment Day and everything, I almost wanted to put Judgment Day in just in a just like Damage Control. But Balor has done really good, and that's my number 3. He's just done so excellent and everything, and I don't know, man. I never thought I'd have Balor in my top 5, like what, like just overall, but here he is at number 3 for me.
All right. My number 2 is someone who just recently returned and is one of the most interesting things on WWE right now, and that is Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is my number 2, and if I had to pick someone that could potentially dethrone Roman Reigns, Wyatt would be one of my choices, along with the likes of Cody, or Seth. I like it's Seth, Cody, or Wyatt for me in terms of who beats Reigns. I mean, one part of me would like to see Bray Wyatt stay away from gold for a while, just to try and like get his his character like a lot of development first before going for belts and everything like that. But yeah, Bray Wyatt is my second, just purely because like the return, just in general, it's one of the best moments in recent WWE history, and yeah, um, I'm just very intrigued, like, just very intrigued to see where he'll go from here in terms of who he'll be in his stable, who he'll feud with, just what he's gonna do going forward. Like every single show that I watch, I'm like, "What's Bray doing? What's Bray doing?" And like, especially like I tune in every SmackDown like just purely because of Wyatt, and that says something. So yeah, Bray Wyatt's my number 2.
So I'm gonna have to redo this list because I really messed up somewhere. So unfortunately for Bobby Lashley, he's going to have to be removed from my top 5. Um, so this is what I want to do. KO is 5. Balor is going to be moved to 4. No, wait a minute. Yeah, Jesus. Um, Gunther will be my number 3.
So actually, as it stands, we have the same 3.
Yes, and my number 2 is going to be Seth Rollins.
Ooh.
Seth will be my number 2. Um, Jesus Christ, you should see my notes list over here. Seth for me is number 2. I hate it for Bobby. Bobby's done really good, but just because of other stuff, he's going to have to be out of my top 5. Um, but Seth has done excellent. He has gotten the crowd over with his theme, and he's back to being a babyface now. Basically, it's all on the wall, just the way he's talking, you can tell he's changed and everything. So he's back to doing that. Seth has put on great match after great match after great match. Well, I could continue. Um, just really, just really good from Seth. This is the best Seth has been in a long time, and I'm glad Seth is being back, and you can tell he enjoying it. He got the different look with his hair and everything. So Seth is my number 2.
And it's funny you say that because Seth is actually my number 1. Yeah. Um, yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Like Seth Rollins is the best he's been in a long time, and in my honest opinion, probably the best he's arguably ever been. In terms of as an overall performer, both in the ring and entertainment wise, just like the character, he's so over. He's carrying Raw right now, considering Roman Reigns isn't really on Raw very much, obviously he isn't on TV very much nowadays because of the limited appearances and all that. But in terms of like on Raw, Rollins has been just holding it down with the US title, making it the most important title, one of the most important titles on in the company. And yeah, just even before he won the title, just like every match he put on, just bangers, left, right, and center with everybody he faces and it always is just one of the most interesting things on the TV. And yeah, like you said, you can tell he's enjoying it. He really is enjoying it. You can just tell, like whatever he does, like the new look, whatever, he absolutely kills it every single time. So I think there's no flaw to Rollins' game. And like I said, if if I had to run down people who I think should beat Reigns, Rollins is probably like number 1, number 2 on my list. I would probably love to see Rollins eventually do it, but yeah, Rollins is my favorite thing in WWE right now in terms of overall in the ring and in whatever he does. So yeah, he's my number 1.
All right, so my number 1 is your number 2, and that's Bray. For me, look, you nailed it on the money. Every time his segment is about to come on or something, I'm glued to the TV. I'm the same way with Seth, but I'm more with Bray just because I love a story that develops and it's not, like we were talking about, like now. It's
Yeah,
a process, and I love like when, especially in wrestling, when there's a process of a story, like the Bloodline right now with Sami Zayn. That's
yeah,
It wasn't supposed to go on that long, but the
no,
way Sammy has gotten over back to where she's being over and everything. That's that right there is just that's that
amazing storytelling, just
yes. I love
excellent storytelling.
I love storytelling, and that's why Bray's number 1 for me over Seth. Just because I know his storytelling is it's going to be really good, and who I would have never thought he would have a segment with LA Knight. That makes
No,
absolutely no sense, but somehow need it to make sense somehow, some way. That's
some way.
that right there, and I don't know if that's going to be his first feud or not. Don't know, but I just overall in general, him fighting his Uncle Howdy, his demons, just how they've done it, and then the next week he won't be fighting anything. He'll act normal. I I love what they're doing with that. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Bray's number 1 for me. So
we actually have a very similar list. Like all of our like things are the same. Just swap out Bray and Seth as number 1 and 2, and that's both our lists.
and honestly, if it wasn't for Bray coming back and what Seth be doing, Gunther might be my number 1.
Yeah, Gunther is insane.
I hate to say I hate for him being number 3, but I think
Yeah,
that
same.
for me how much Bray coming back and the storytelling and how Seth has, Seth's just doing Seth. And
Yeah.
for me, Bobby could be on the list and KO could be out just because he's injured, but Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens, so I just
Kevin
can't.
Owens, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, our lists are very similar, but other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I don't know if you do.
Nah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. This has been quite a long podcast, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yes, this is probably. I don't know if. No, this ain't the longest. Well, hold on. Might be the the longest I've done on my channel. Not the longest I've done in general, I don't think,
No.
but it's awfully close. I'm gonna be honest. But okay, whew. I feel like I've been talking a lot. I think we both have. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit too much, but I've this time and everything. I don't know how this. When I end it, I think you're just going to disappear. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah, that's the only part of the podcast that's a bit up in the air. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to edit it all together very well and make it seamless.
Yeah, I don't know. But okay, I think when I end it, it'll just you just disappear. So afterwards, I won't be able to say anything. So I hope you have a great night. Blah blah blah. All that good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here, Tyler. I've been looking forward to hopefully any more future podcasts that I do with you for sure.
Yes. So if he happens to not be able to do it, anyone that even wants to, I'll do it. I don't really care. Overall, I don't care. Like I'll do it with anybody. I will. But now since this is able, I can do NBA stuff with Dejor if he can get on. But which for me, like I've been wanting to do like because with the people, my friends and everything, I can do it through this because we live like we don't live in the same city, all of us. So this going live actually works out and everything. So hopefully I can do something with him with NBA because he's big on NBA and really good stuff. So with that being said, if you somehow reach this point, which I would be highly surprised, but if you did, I appreciate it.
Fair play to you guys if you have.
Yes, yes. I don't think so because this is a long podcast. I'm not gonna lie, but you did. Hey, hit that red subscribe button for me. I'm still on the road to 400 somehow, some way after 5 years, or I don't know how. But if you guys please do that, Luke's channel, it's going to be in the description. I'll just have to get it from him or something. But I'll put that in the description. Go sub to him. He does his stuff. Whenever he can because hey, everyone lives their lifestyle. It's difficult. So
Yeah. I'll definitely try and get back to doing regular videos as soon as I can. It's just that life is manic. So I'll try and figure out a way. But thank you, Tyler. I appreciate the shout out.
no problem. Hit that like button if you're watching on demand, which it'll eventually be up. I don't know how long, because I've done live stuff before, but I haven't done this long before, and I don't know how long it'll take to upload. But whenever it does, please hit that like button if you're watching. I greatly appreciate it. And until next time, whenever that is, see you guys back on the podcast, and
Take care, guys.
have a great day.